Sophia Loren was born as Sophia Loren on September 20th, 1934, in Rome, Italy. She grew up mainly in Pozzuoli, a town near Naples. Her childhood was really hard. Italy was still recovering from the war, and Sophia lived through bombings, not having enough food, and being scared all the time. Because she didn't get enough to eat as a kid, she was super skinny. Some people even gave her a mean nickname, Stuzzicadent, which means little stick in Italian. But these tough times made her strong and helped her understand what regular people go through. This would later help her become an amazing actress. Her mom, Romilda, was super important in Sophia's life. Romilda had tried to be an actress, but it didn't work out. She saw that her daughter was special and pushed her to enter beauty contests as a way to escape being poor. In 1950, Sophia entered the Miss Italia beauty pageant. She didn't win first place, but people noticed her because she was so pretty and natural. During this time, a movie producer named Carlo Ponti saw her. He would become both her teacher and the greatest love of her life. With Ponti's help, Sophia Loren became Sophia Loren, a name that would soon be famous all over the world. Ponti helped make her look better, got her acting lessons, and picked movie roles that showed she wasn't just pretty, but could really act too. Loren quickly proved she was way more than just a beautiful face. In the 1950s, she became a star in Italian movies, working with some of the best directors ever, including Vittorio De Sica. Her work with De Sica created some of the most unforgettable movie performances in history. In Two Women, 1960, Loren played a mother trying to protect her daughter during World War II in Italy. The role wasn't glamorous at all. It showed real sadness, fear, and strength. For this performance, Sophia Loren made history by becoming the first actor ever to win an Oscar for acting in a foreign language film. This was huge, not just for her, but for movies from other countries too. During the 1950s and 1960s, Loren became famous in Hollywood but stayed proudly Italian. She acted in movies with legendary actors like Marcello Mastroianni, Cary Grant, Clark Gable, Frank Sinatra, Marlon Brando, and Paul Newman. Her chemistry with Mastroianni was especially famous, and they made classic films together like Marriage Italian Style, Yesterday, Today and Tomorrow, and The Special Day. These movies mix humor, romance, real emotions, and important messages about society. This made Loren known as one of the most talented actresses of her time. Sophia Loren's legacy is about way more than just awards and successful movies. She won many Golden Globes, a Grammy, a BAFTA, a special honorary Oscar, and tons of other awards from around the world. But what really makes her special is that she was always herself. She refused to change herself to fit Hollywood's strict ideas of beauty. She was proud of her curves, her accent, her age, and her Italian culture. By doing this, she changed what it meant to be feminine and showed that you can be strong and vulnerable at the same time. At the start of the 1980s, Sophia Loren, who was already one of cinema's biggest legends, made a thoughtful and personal choice to slow down from making so many films. Instead of being in movies all the time, she became picky about her roles, which made each appearance special. This graceful step back only made her more mysterious, and when she did come back to the screen, people got really excited. When Loren did appear in movies, she did it with clear confidence and timeless elegance. In Robert Altman's Pretty Porter, 1994, she playfully and emotionally showed the lasting glamour of European cinema, keeping up with a cast full of modern stars. A year later, she charmed a whole new generation of fans in the Hollywood comedy Grumpier Old Men, 1995, where her warmth, humor, and magnetic personality proved that people loved her no matter how old she was. Even decades into her career, Loren kept surprising and inspiring people. Her role in the musical movie 9, 2009, reminded everyone how important she was internationally. And The Life Ahead, 2020, gave one of the most powerful performances of her later years, a personal, deeply human portrayal that got praise from around the world and proved once again that she was an incredible actress whose emotional talent had only gotten better with age. Sophia Loren's marriage to Carlo Ponti Sr. was one of the longest-lasting, most complicated, and most romantic relationships in international movie history. Their relationship was marked by deep love, legal problems, long times apart, and an unbreakable emotional connection that lasted 50 years. Carlo Ponti Sr., a successful Italian film producer who was almost 22 years older than Sophia Loren, first came into her life when she was still a teenager, just starting her career. Back then, Loren was a young woman from a poor background, born Sophia sick alone in war-torn Italy, trying to find her way in the world. Ponti immediately saw not just her incredible beauty, but also her smarts, hard work, and rare talent for being on screen. He became her mentor, carefully guiding her professional growth, helping her improve her acting skills, her public image, and even her name, turning her into Sophia Loren, someone destined to be an international star. As their work relationship got stronger, it turned into a powerful and real love affair. However, their relationship was complicated from the start because Ponti was married. At the time, he was legally married to Giuliana Fiaschi, and divorce wasn't allowed under Italian law. Despite this problem, Loren and Ponti decided to make their commitment official and got married in 1957 in what they thought was a real marriage. The marriage, though, quickly became a huge scandal and legal mess in deeply Catholic Italy. The authorities said the marriage wasn't valid, calling it bigamous, which means being married to two people at once, and the couple could have been charged with a crime. Under enormous pressure and facing possible jail time, their marriage was annulled in 1962, forcing them to legally separate even though they still loved each other. The annulment was a painful time in Loren's life. Even though she was quickly becoming one of the most celebrated actresses in the world, winning praise for films like Two Women in 1960, which earned her an Academy Award, her personal life was full of uncertainty and sadness. Loren later talked openly about how hard it was emotionally to live in secret, unable to publicly be with the man she loved. For several years, the couple lived mostly apart, talking privately and keeping their bond strong despite intense attention and social judgment. Their story had a turning point when Carlo Ponti became a French citizen, which let him legally divorce his first wife under French law. With the legal problems finally gone, Sophia Loren and Carlo Ponti Sr. were able to be together openly. In 1966, they got married again, this time legally and without any controversy. The second marriage started a stable and deeply happy chapter in Loren's personal life. Finally free to live as husband and wife, they settled into a quieter, more private family life, away from all the scandal. Together, Loren and Ponti built a family, having two sons, Carlo Ponti Jr. and Eduardo Ponti. Both sons later had careers in the arts, Carlo as an orchestra conductor and Eduardo as a filmmaker. Loren often said her husband gave her emotional security and kept her grounded, especially as she dealt with the pressures of being famous, Hollywood expectations, and traveling internationally. Despite her huge success and worldwide fame, she often described herself as a traditional woman at heart, deeply devoted to being a wife and mother. Carlo Ponti Sr. stayed a guiding presence in Loren's life, not just as her husband, but also as a trusted advisor and protector. Their marriage lasted through decades of changes in the movie industry, shifts in what people liked, and the natural challenges of being together long-term. Ponti's health got worse in his later years, and Loren stayed by his side with the same loyalty that defined their relationship from the beginning. Their marriage lasted until Carlo Ponti Sr. died in 2007, ending one of cinema's greatest love stories. Loren has often talked about Ponti as the great love of her life, saying that their bond was built on respect, patience, sacrifice, and deep emotional connection. Even after he died, she continued to honor his memory, describing him as the man who shaped her life both personally and professionally. In the story of Sophia Loren's life, her marriage to Carlo Ponti Sr. isn't just a detail about her life. It's a defining part of who she is, proof of lasting love in the face of hardship, social judgment, and time itself. At 91, Sophia Loren looks back on her extraordinary life with a clarity that comes from time, memory, and grace. Among the many famous people who crossed her path during Hollywood's golden age, one name still carries special emotional meaning: Cary Grant. For decades, Loren rarely talked in detail about their relationship, letting rumors, guesses, and half-told stories swirl around one of cinema's most interesting almost romances. Now, in the quiet confidence of her later years, she has chosen to speak openly, not to make the past more dramatic, but to honor it with honesty and love. Sophia Loren met Cary Grant in the late 1950s when she was still a young Italian actress, trying to navigate the scary world of Hollywood. Grant, already an international icon, was known for his perfect elegance, humor, and romantic charm. Loren remembers feeling both amazed and comforted by him. "Cary had a way of making you feel safe," she said. "He was the most polished man in the room. Yet with me he was gentle, almost shy." Their chemistry was obvious both on and off the screen, especially during the filming of Houseboat, 1958, where their natural connection translated into an effortless romantic tension that audiences loved. Loren has spoken honestly about the deep emotional connection that grew between them. "He was not just a handsome face," she explained. "He listened. He really listened, and that is very rare." Grant's attentiveness and emotional intelligence stood out to her in an industry often driven by big egos and competition. She admired his discipline, his professionalism, and his quiet vulnerability, traits that went against the confident image he showed to the world. Over the years, rumors kept suggesting that Grant wanted to marry Loren, and she doesn't deny that his feelings were serious. "Yes, he asked me," she admitted softly, "more than once." But life, as she explains, was complicated. Grant was older, divorced, and firmly settled in Hollywood, while Loren stayed deeply connected to Italy and to Carlo Ponti, the man who would become her husband and lifelong partner. "My heart was divided," she said. "I was young, confused, and very much Italian. Family, loyalty, and roots meant everything to me." Despite the romantic tension, Loren emphasizes that their bond was based on mutual respect rather than regret. "What we shared was beautiful because it was never spoiled," she reflected. "Sometimes the love you do not live is the one that stays pure." She talks about Grant not as a lost opportunity, but as a treasured chapter, one that helped her grow as both a woman and an artist. Sophia Loren also talked about Cary Grant's inner struggles, recognizing the emotional complexity behind his charm. "He carried sadness with him," she said. "He smiled for the world, but inside he was searching for peace." Her words echo what many people later learned about Grant's private battles with identity, insecurity, and the pressures of fame. Loren's compassion shows how deeply they understood each other. Now, looking back from age 91, Loren feels gratitude rather than longing. "I was very lucky," she said. "To be loved by Cary Grant, even for a moment, was a gift." She believes time has given her the freedom to speak openly without fear of judgment or being misunderstood. "When you are young, you protect yourself. When you are old, you protect the truth." In finally sharing her thoughts, Sophia Loren offers more than just a glimpse into a legendary Hollywood romance. She offers thoughts on love, choice, and the quiet dignity of memories left untouched by time. Cary Grant remains, in her words, a gentleman of the heart, and their story, though unfinished, lives on as one of classic cinema's most touching what-ifs.